an office in Cincinnati.
The office in Cincinnati.
People in the Cincinnati office.
And the Cincinnati field office.
Guess it wasn't just Cincinnati, was it? New documents obtained by Judicial Watch, my new favorite watchdog group, show the IRS targeting of Obama's political opponents came directly from Washington, not from a rogue office in Cincinnati. But not only that, the new emails showed Democratic Senator Carl Levin requested the IRS investigate conservative groups, specifically those working against his re-election campaign. With me now, Chief Counsel of the American Center for Law and Justice, Jay Sekulow. Good evening, Jay. The latest batch of documents reveals that what the White House and the president told the American people was a lie. Why did they say it was just in Cincinnati?
Well, the narrative that the White House initiated right from the beginning was that this was the two rogue agents in Cincinnati. And judge what these emails that Judicial Watch got and what we found out in our lawsuit as we amended the complaint, because we started getting some of these documents, as you can imagine, was that the IRS, Washington, D.C., National Office, Chief Counsel's Office, Lois Lerner, and others, even much higher than Lois Lerner, were not only involved in the process, but actually took the cases over from the office in Cincinnati. So that when the Cincinnati got a case, it was referred to D.C. D.C. wrote them up, and what the email shows is that, in fact, nothing was happening out of the regional offices, that everything was coordinated and controlled out of Washington, D.C., and the defendants that we've named in our lawsuit are the ones that were involved in this, and that includes the Chief Counsel's Office of the IRS. Wow.
You know, as I sit here and listen to you, Jay, I can't help but think that, you know, it's almost like a charade where whatever the scandal might be, we don't get the information until a court finally gives us the ability to get information. It's as though, you know, the checks and balances and congressional oversight, oh, ignore them, ignore this one. I mean, right. How can we get to the truth about these scandals and what can be done about them? Let's assume you get all the emails to prove your case. Go ahead.
Yeah. Congress has, had their oversight hearings, but as you've correctly noted, Lois Lerner kind of took the Fifth Amendment. But here's what happens, and you know this as a judge. When we take her deposition and she takes the Fifth Amendment, while in a criminal case you can't use those facts as an admission against her, in a civil case, if we ask her a question, she takes the Fifth Amendment, that issue, that fact is deemed admitted and becomes part of your case in chief, and it's an admitted fact that's now not in dispute. So while she could take the Fifth Amendment in a civil case, she has the right to do that. The fact that she's taking the Fifth Amendment towards proves our case. And when we amended that complaint, Judge, we've laid out from the time the president made his State of the Union message involving, and he chastised the Supreme Court and the Citizens United case, right, all the way through the multiple meetings that the Chief Counsel's Office had and the head of the IRS had at the White House, right down to these emails themselves. We've put forward a chronological order that shows that the government at the highest levels were involved in this from the outset. And remember this, and people forget this, Judge, that question a year ago that Lois Lerner stated the answer to at the ABA, where she gave that fake apology about the Tea Party targeting, the reality is, and we know this for a fact, that was a planted question. She was just trying to get ahead of that Inspector General's report, and people have lost sight of that fact. The cover-up started a long time ago, probably back in 2010. All
right, Jay, very quickly before we go, I mean, do you think that anything will happen to people like Lois Lerner?
I do. I think, look, this civil litigation we have includes damages, not only declaratory relief, but damages. And I think ultimately you violate someone's civil right in conspiracy with others, you are held liable for monetary damages as well as injunctive relief. I think there will be people that will have to pay the price for what they did, illegal acts and serious illegal acts. So we're proceeding very aggressively.
All right, Jay Sekulow, thanks so much for being with us this evening.
Thanks, Judge.